Welcome back to the Stick 'em Up YouTube channel. And Brundi, we're doing an extra episode here on the YouTube because we just had four huge trades yesterday. I already covered one of them yesterday right after it broke. So we're covering the other three now early on the next day. And uh man, there's a lot to talk about with these deals, especially the last one we'll get to, which everyone is still talking about a full 14 hours later. But I figure we might as well, since you're the resident Sharks fan. Do you want to kick us off with the San Jose Sharks trade?
Yeah, we can definitely start there. San Jose Sharks trade William Eklund, Ford prospect Kasper Holtonen, and Ford prospect Brandon Svoboda to the Ottawa Senators for the 9th overall pick. This should come as a surprise to no one. Honestly, I know a lot of people were pretty surprised that the Sharks traded Eklund, and as a big Sharks fan, as a big William Eklund fan, I'm not surprised one bit.
He's been in rumors for a bit now. You know, he he almost feels like the Sharks forward version of Mario Ferraro in that, like, I don't really see a need to trade this player, but like where there's smoke, there's fire, and he's just been talked about getting moved for a year and a half, it seems like, at least. So he's,
I don't think it's that long. It really only kind of started back at the trade deadline. I think that was more teams throwing out offers, seeing if they could get him.
right.
Because like at the end of the day, he was never Mike Greer's guy. He wasn't a draft pick of Mike Greer. It was the last year of the Doug Wilson era. So usually when new GMs come in, and especially in rebuilds, they want their guys. And as good as William Eklund is, he was never a Mike Greer guy. And then obviously jumping up to second overall, probably now for sure picking Ivar Stenberg. You had to move out a forward, so it's pretty easy to move out the forward that you as a GM have the least attachment to. And that would be William Eklund, which means now, I believe if I'm correct, there is only one player in the organization remaining that was there before Mike Greer came in.
Wow. Is that Mario Ferraro?
Well, I'm not counting Ferraro because it sounds like he's going to free agency and he's gone. So not including him,
Is he
it would only be
Oh, I kind of thought he would be an RFA still.
It would only be Ethan Cardwell is the last remaining player from the Doug Wilson era. But for the Sharks, I mean, you get the 9th overall pick back. And you move out Eklund, who at his peak, probably a very solid second line winger, can maybe get to that first line level.
He's on the fringe of it.
Potentially in Ottawa, we'll see. Kasper Holtonen, great shot. That's about it.
I was going to say, I was a little surprised how buried his name got in this trade, because I remember he was, relatively highly touted when he got drafted. Like
a high second round pick, and
yeah, kind of one of those diamond in the rough potential players.
Yeah, and again, one of those players, great shot, but the rest of the game has a long way to go. So, and for the Sharks again, like you have too many forwards, so you got to make room, and you've kind of already now, assuming if Stenberg's your guy, you have your top 9 forwards for a long time going forward, right? So, and Svoboda potentially could be a solid 4th line center, but again, San Jose's kind of already got guys for that role.
You can find 4th line centers.
You package all that and you get the 9th overall pick. I don't think that's too bad in my opinion. I know a lot of Sharks fans are upset with this deal. I think mostly just because they're big Eklund fans and very attached to him.
Yeah.
But you give up these 3 and you get the 9th overall pick. In my opinion, that's not a bad deal at all.
There's a little risk attached to it, obviously. I mean, if whoever you pick at 9th overall doesn't end up panning out, it's not going to look great. But that you could say that about every trade where somebody's trading for a high up pick. And yeah, if they don't see Eklund as a huge part of their future and they can get a really good player at 9th overall, it makes a ton of sense. It makes a ton of sense. And you got to imagine they're looking at a defenseman with that now because they've got to be picking Stenberg at number 2. Like, it would be shocking if they didn't. It does sound like they're still taking calls on the 2nd overall pick, but
I think they're taking calls on all their picks, and
yeah,
again, one of those ones where if you get an offer that you can't refuse, you're gonna take it, right? And the trade actually looks a lot better for San Jose after the Buffalo Chicago trade we'll get into. So once we get to that, we'll talk about that a bit more. But I think this is just a good deal for both teams. Ottawa obviously needed to get a kind of replacement player in your top 6 on the wing to replace Brady Tkachuk. Obviously, Eklund is not at the level of Brady Tkachuk, but he does still bring a lot of high-end skill and is very close with Fabian Zetterlund, who's already there. So maybe you can throw those two back together, and that'll spark something there in their top 6. So
yeah,
a good trade for both teams, honestly.
Yeah, I like it for both sides, and like for the Sens, I think this is really tidy work because now in the Brady Tkachuk deal, they got Eklund, Haltonen, and Svoboda plus 2 first rounders and a second rounder. Like, once that's going to be a really interesting trade tree to look back on in a couple of years, I think. Like, there's a very good chance they move some of those other pieces as well, and we'll see all the different guys they can get back for it. That's going to be really interesting, and I'm excited to see what Eklund can do with Ottawa. I think he might, if they don't end up bringing back Claude Giroux, that he might take his spot on 5-on-5. So we'll see on that.
What do you mean take a spot 5? What do you mean?
Was he, because Claude Giroux was playing wing by the end, right?
I think he was. So, yeah.
So he might slot into his spot because he's going to free agency, I think, right?
Yeah, he might resign. It's tough to say. It sounds like Ottawa's trying to resign him, but the way things have gone there, it wouldn't surprise me if Giroux's like, I want to win a cup, and probably not doing that in the next 2 years in Ottawa. So,
it's
right now
hard to have
Ottawa's
much faith signing anywhere to win a cup in the Atlantic. Like, it's just a dogfight right now. So
yeah, Ottawa's getting a good, consistent right now, at least 50-point player. Got that potential to get up to that probably 65, 70. And again, you're the 9th overall pick. You're going to get a good player there, but it's not a player that's going to help you right now. And for Ottawa, you need players that are going to help you win now. You get that with Eklund and San Jose. Yeah, we'll see what they do at the 9th.
Another team that decides they need to win now is the Chicago Blackhawks. You mentioned that, so I figure we might as well talk about that trade and how it relates to the Shark trade. The Buffalo Sabres traded defenseman Bowen Byram and forward Jordan Greenway to Chicago for the 4th overall pick, the 45th overall pick, and Louis Crevier. Wow.
Yeah, this is a tough one for Chicago fans.
Holy. And they did this without extending Byram, because I guess Byram won't be eligible for an extension until July 1st, right? Like,
yeah.
So,
I mean, you got to imagine Chicago's already done their due diligence, and they know that there's going to be an extension that gets signed.
Sure, but he can say that all day. But as soon as July 1st comes around, he can go, I'll wait. Like,
you could, but then you're Chicago and you just say, all right, you're a healthy scratch all year. How are you going to get your big payday now? Like,
you're going to healthy scratch a guy you paid the 4th overall pick for, though? Like, Byram has all the leverage.
Yeah, he's going to sign there, though. Why would he? The whole reason he was okay with getting out of Buffalo is because we'll get paid, which Chicago's going to pay him, and he wanted to be a top guy. and he is now by far the top guy in Chicago. Chicago going to be on the top, pairing, top power play. He's going to get all the playing time and opportunity in the world, and absolutely, Chicago's going to pay him. So I have no doubts that an extension's coming with it and all that. But again, like giving up the 4th overall pick, 45th, a good defenseman in Louis Crevier, and you're also taking a bad contract off of Buffalo's hands.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a steal for Buffalo.
100% it is. Like, it's so funny seeing everybody talk about like where they think they went wrong. Like Buffalo's like, we're almost there. Can you add a 4th and it'll probably be good? Yeah, we'll add the 4th overall pick. Sure. Like it's hard to imagine where they decided this was the value for that guy. Like,
so again,
4th
like
overall wasn't enough.
Though.
4th overall wasn't enough to get this deal done. They had to add the 45th overall.
Because it's like we were talking about last night. San Jose offered the 9th overall and the 27th overall.
These guys see something in Bowen Byram that I personally do not.
Yeah, you're a lot lower on Bowen Byram than I think everybody else, because he is again, is he worth the 4th overall pick? No. Is he still a very good defenseman? Absolutely good, high offensive skill. I think he was. I mean, no one was better than Rasmus Dahlin on Buffalo, but he was Buffalo's second best defenseman in the playoffs, in my opinion, and that's saying a lot considering how good Samuelsson was. But again, still for the price of the 4th overall, I don't think it's.
I think a lot of people are expecting him to break out huge offensively, and I'm like, I wouldn't be shocked. He's 25 years old, and I believe he like just turned 25 a couple weeks ago. But this next year, he'll be going into his 8th NHL season. Like he's not fresh on the scene at this point, and that's just so much. Like that draft pick very likely is a Chase Reed or something like that. Chase Reed is gonna mop the floor with Byram when their careers are done, if projections are to be believed. Like
I don't think that's a guarantee, because again,
it's not,
right? Like
it's not a guarantee. I mean, Bowen Byram was a 4th overall pick. Like maybe that's how Chicago's looking at it. We're trading the 4th overall pick for a guy who is a 4th overall pick value player who can compete now and be with Bedard and stuff. And that's probably how they're looking at it. There's a lot of great defensemen that have potential to be at least sniffing the Norris conversation. I would be shocked if Byram got to that level.
I don't know if he gets to the Norris level, but the thing is, again, Bowen Byram's never been the guy, right? He goes to Colorado, stuck behind Makar.
He's been on 2 really deep teams as well, yeah.
And then goes to Buffalo, stuck behind. Like this is a guy that is finally getting the chance to be the guy, the number one guy. And again, the offensive skill is high end, right? So again, would I give up 4th overall pick for him? No, but do I agree with that? Like he's a average defenseman.
No, and I don't even think he's average.
Gonna be like, and for Chicago, again, you draft Chase Reed. All right, so are you planning to another 2 years at the bottom of the league? Bedard's not going to stick around for another 2 years of being worst team in the league or bottom 3. Like Chicago's got to start building it up, and all these problems again go back to the 2024 draft and drafting Lev Shinov 2nd overall over taking Ivan Demidov. That's where all these issues are still continuing to stem from.
Yeah.
They wanted to move up to 2nd overall to get Stenberg, but they weren't able to make a deal happen with San Jose. San Jose trades Eklund, so the writing's kind of on the wall. They're taking Stenberg. Chicago knows they have no chance of getting him, and they pivot. So
that's so crazy to me still. Like that they're like they have this one guy. Don't get Stenberg's great, but like it's crazy to have the 4th overall pick, and when you can't have the guy who's for a while been the consensus number 2, the next most likely spot is almost number 1. Like if anybody goes up to number 1, it's probably him. And because they can't get this guy, they don't want the 4th overall pick. The 4th overall pick's still going to be real good. Like just because you don't get Stenberg, you don't have to boot it out the door. Like
but again, it doesn't help Chicago right now. I think that's their mindset of they need to start building up. And again, Connor Bedard has all the power to hold out.
I don't think I could be convinced that this is the only way they were getting Bowen Byram. But at the same time, the Sharks were offering a lot as well. So
the Sharks are at a good offer. And it's funny though, because like obviously Buffalo, breaks a drought. They get back into the playoffs. They even make it to the second round, and they still find themselves with a top 4 pick. Like that's just so typical.
That's Buffalo. The thing. They have to be moving this, right?
See, I don't know. I think there's potential for teams to maybe trade up, because again, I don't know if Buffalo's going to trade the 4th overall for a player right now. I could see them maybe trading back, and if they do hold on to the pick, they're probably not taking a defenseman, which is why I like the Eklund deal for San Jose more, because it makes it that much more likely that one of those right-handed defensemen fall to the Sharks at 9 if they hold on to that pick, because again, they could still maybe move it.
Right.
But yeah, I really don't know what Buffalo's going to do. Maybe it's part of a.
Can I workshop a little package. Something?
Yeah.
Because I mentioned this the other day, because like many hockey fans the other day, in any free time I had, I was refreshing. Who's doing the next insane thing? And when this trade became finalized, I was thinking, like, what if they end up packaging the 4th overall pick and Devin Levi for Connor Hellebuyck? Because Connor Hellebuyck, it's not fully confirmed. It's not like the Larkin situation or anything yet, but there's picking up more and more steam that he's starting to want out of Winnipeg. And, he's going to want to go to a contender because he's, doesn't have a cup. He's 33 years old. He was on the U.S. team, so we're all just kind of assuming he doesn't want to go to a Canadian team. The only Canadian team he would go to compete right now is the Oilers, because
I think Buffalo's got to offer more, though.
It's the Oilers and the Habs, and obviously the Habs have goalies. So I think the Sabres could be a great fit, but yes, it would have to be more than that. I think that would be the starting point.
So the starting point is the 4th overall, because again, I don't think Devin Levi has much value. Again, I think
it's the promise of having a good goalie in the future, and as well as just GMs hate trading a goalie and not getting a goalie contract back. Regardless of the skill, they hate moving out a goalie and not doing anything with it.
But he I don't think he does anything for Winnipeg. Again, I think people are still propping him up because of the World Juniors, but again, that was 5 years ago. 24 now.
It's too bad, man. We were excited for this guy.
Mid AHL numbers this year, actually below average, in 52 games. I think there's a lot of potential for a Connor Hellebuyck to Buffalo, but again, it's got to start with the 4th overall and
100%. And that's got to be pretty enticing for the Jets. That 4th overall pick, that's awesome. That's a great place to start. Like, that's immediately the other teams that are in those conversations, like the Floridas of the world, they don't have something like the 4th overall pick that they can offer. Like, they have pieces, sure, you could get into a bidding war, but you've got a better piece that fits better with the Jets to start it off. So I think something like that could be fun.
Bowen Byram, who, again, great defenseman, but you don't need him because you've got so many other guys, and turn that into Hellebuyck. Like, you do that all day.
That'd be crazy.
For Buffalo, obviously, it's a home run trade.
Out of the park.
Zero complaints. You got the 4th overall pick, and you're able to dump a bad contract in the process. Chicago, like this is just bad. Again, I'm still
Something
a
so
big Bowen
funny about
Byram
the
fan.
45th overall pick for me. Like, I without that pick in the deal, I think it's still very, very Buffalo sided. Something about that also being included, just like, is one of those things where it turns a one sided deal into a like fleecing. Um, but who knows? Like Bowen Byram, he might go out there, he might put up 70 points. Bedard might be a Hart finalist, and a year from now we're going, holy fuck, we thought it was bad, but like, no, they did it. Like, who cares what they gave up? Look at them cook. So it might
Yeah,
work out
I
for them.
think.
There's definitely a path.
Yeah, I mean, there's either way, Buffalo is the clear winner in this deal right now because again, you got the fourth overall
Yeah,
pick, right? And if they hold on to the pick, I really do hope they draft a forward. Chicago, again, it could work out. I think Byram's gonna have a lot of success being the top guy and having the chance to just run the number one power play. Um, but again, for the price of fourth overall, like it's probably not gonna live up to that value. But I guess you never quite know. Um, but yeah, definitely
um,
quite the interesting deal.
yeah. Just to quickly go over it because I didn't really explain myself earlier. Um, the reason that I suspect Bowen Byram would go to free agency after a monster deal like this is very uh, completely hinges on the fact that he is represented by Darren Ferris. That's his agent, and he is notoriously like not one of like the most money oriented agent in the NHL.
But
Uh,
Chicago's
he
gonna pay whatever they
he
want.
he tries to get every single one of his clients to walk to free agency if they are okay with it, because that's where you get the most money. He is, it sounds like, the most hard ass in negotiations. He anytime a player is like, well, we can probably knock off a bit for the team's cap sake, he's always like, no, like, get your money, man. Get your money. And I say this like he's a bad guy. He's fighting for his clients to get money. That's his
He's
job, and
also
like,
he's also
what's wrong
fighting
with
for
that?
himself to get
For
money though.
himself, because oh yeah, 100%. That's probably the
But the
biggest
thing is,
motivator. Why wouldn't it be?
Chicago's gonna pay Bowen Byram whatever he wants. You're not trading the fourth overall for a rental for 1 year.
Exactly.
If
So
they
I
say we want 12 mil, Chicago's gonna give him 12.
exactly. That's why I don't think he'll get to free agency. I just want to throw it out there because if it was almost any other agent player combination, I would be like, there's a 99% chance they're re-signing. And because of this, I put that like down at like a 95. I'm just saying the
I'm still
window's open. The
100.
window's open.
I will guarantee 100% Bowen Byram by end of July will have a contract extension. Probably July 1st, honestly. Because otherwise, Chicago is there. You might as well trade Bedard.
I mean,
You might as well just
who
restart the rebuild.
who's he negotiating with? Kyle Davidson, who
The guy who gave up fourth overall pick
has
for him.
not looked very smart in his tenure with the Blackhawks so far. How long's he been
Mhm.
there? It's like,
Too long. Too long at this
yeah,
point now.
yeah. They need a fresh set of eyes or something, man. Taves just retired. Put him in the Alex Steen machine. Get him start working
Yeah,
on
you want
that.
Jonathan Taves learning from Kyle Davidson though?
No, send him somewhere else.
Yeah.
Pay him a bunch of money to like pay a bunch of money to like Nashville or something, and be like, hey, Nashville, can you job shadow one of your guys for 5 years, something like that. Um, Either way, yeah, Buffalo absolutely killed it. Son of a bitch. The Atlantic gets tougher again, man. The top 10 teams in the league, like 7 of them are going to be from this division. Holy shit. It's probably closer to 5 or 6, but like that's still crazy. Let's talk about the Jordan
Um,
Kyrou trade.
yeah, the last deal here, the middle one that happened kind of throughout the day. The St. Louis Blues trade Jordan Kyrou to the Washington Capitals for Connor McMichael, Ford prospect Milton Gastrin, and the 16th overall pick. To be honest, I love this for St. Louis. I
Does that mean
love
you
this
hate?
deal
Does
for
that mean you
St.
hate it for the Capitals?
I don't hate it for the Capitals, but this is a home run deal by the Blues. Again, I still
Interesting.
like it for Washington, but
I
for the
thought this was
Blues,
a relatively even deal. So I'd love to hear what specifically you love about it. I mean, obviously 16th overall, that carries a good amount of weight. That gives them their fourth first round pick. In a lot of people's eyes, I think Vancouver was the front runner to get the Ruck twins. It's hard not to look at a team with 4 first rounders and think they might be in on that. We already know that they see value in doing that because they reunited Pierre Oliver Joseph and Matthew Joseph just 1 or 2 seasons ago there, and that worked
Mhm.
for a bit until it didn't. And then yeah,
Yeah, I
Milton
mean,
Gastrin and McMichael. That's not bad value for a guy like Jordan Kyrou, who was very good for them. Like, but considering he had a bit of a down year this past year, which the whole Blues team did, um, that's a good return.
yeah, I mean, St. Louis traded him when his value was kind of at his lowest. You get McMichael back, who had identical numbers to Kyrou this year. I think they actually both had 46 points. Both a +8. McMichael 3 years younger, and again, we've seen it at times in
Kyrou a -5. He had 8 penalty minutes,
oh yes. Um,
but
but we've seen when
he was on a
McMichael's
bad Blues
gotten
team. Who their whole team was probably minus.
But we've seen it McMichael when he kind of got a more elevated role in Washington. He really kind of excelled in that role. Um, again, I'm just such a big fan of his game. And then you add on top of that 16th overall pick, where I don't think the gap between Kyrou and McMichael is as big as people think it is.
Well, I was gonna say like Kyrou's
So
more of a goal scorer, and he's more proven for sure. But like 33 points. These are McMichael's stats over the last 3 years. 33 points, 57 points, 46 points. That's not bad. He's 25 years old, turned that in January. He has potential to get better. Like he kind of low key has that Tom Wilson face as well. Might be a little contagious. And yeah, that's a very good starting point for this deal for the Blues. And then to get another great looking prospect and the 16th overall pick. I think this would have been very close in value with McMichael and the 16th overall pick. And that's it. But Gastrin does kind of push it over the edge to the Blues side a little bit.
especially when you look at McMichael, like he's never averaged more than 17 minutes time on ice. Right? Like this is a guy that's
Wow.
averaging about 16-ish minutes a game, and he's still over half a point per game. And kind of limited power play time too. So he's going to get a lot more opportunity in St. Louis now, especially with how many kind of guys they've already shipped out.
He's got to
McMichael
be
can
their
easily
second line
slide in
center,
for
right?
that. Exactly. And going to be playing with good talent there on the wings because again, St. Louis does have a lot of good wingers. And again, yeah, you get the 16th overall pick. You now have again 4 first round picks this year. You'll now be picking 15th, 16th, 29th, and 11th. Like you've got 3 picks in the top 16.
Man,
Like that's
like you get
pretty damn good.
that's good value. And that sorry, what were they again? 11, 15, 16, 29?
Yeah.
16 is like, and who knows if they're going to do it, but they're so fun to talk about. 16th overall, that's a very slight reach on, I believe Liam Ruck is the one that's projected to go first. Like he's projected around that 20-ish range. So it's a little early, but as soon as they've made it clear that they want to go to the same place, and as soon as one gets picked, the other guy is going to be less enticing to other teams to pick. And he's already projected to go around the end of the first round. So they take the first brother at their third first round pick, which is insane to say, at 16th overall. that basically secures that they're going to be able to get Marcus down the road at 29. And you still got 2 other entire top 15 picks to work with. And that's if they use all of these. They could add, like, when was the last time we saw a team use 4 first rounders? Like, there's a very good chance they have more trading to do. They've got 3 third rounders as well. Like, that's I like what Alex Steen's cooking over here. I really like what he's cooking. I think Armstrong's done a good job of giving him the tools to kind of figure out what's going on. Do we know if these were Steen moves for sure, or do we know if Doug Armstrong is still?
That's what I heard. Like, it sounds like Steen will officially be named like the actual general manager July 1st, but it sounds like he's already kind of taken over and is starting to do things starting this offseason.
The new year rolls over, different people collect checks and stuff, and then the transition of power happens. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously the Ruck Twins are going to be a great story for St. Louis. I'm unsure because, again, I think they need to focus a lot more on the blue line, and especially when you look at how many, good young forward prospects they already have.
Like, they do have quite a few.
Twins, you're probably, your starting point as a Jake Neighbors is probably going, which again, I don't think that makes a lot of sense for the Blues unless you're that high.
Yeah, that's a player
on the Ruck Twins. So again, maybe we'll see because again, I at the end of the day, they're going to go to the same team. They've already made clear they want to.
So.
And
I think
a lot of teams are also worried because, again, there is no footage of them as individuals. When you look at them, they are a pair.
Yeah.
So there's and again, both good talent, but there's a high chance you draft one without the other. We could potentially be talking about that B word that I hate to use with prospects. So
yeah. Well, yeah, they're not. They're not like the Kachucks where 4th overall, 7th overall, right? Like the better of the two is mid to late first and late first or early second. So it's definitely more of a gamble, but man, I can't not cheer for them. I mean, everyone's so enticed by them just as players, but the fact that they were willing to come out and be like, we want to play together, when every other brother tandem in NHL history is always told, like, you guys got to build your brand on your own because there's a good chance you won't go to somewhere together. Like, you got to be able to do that. I love that they were just like, we'd love to play together. That would be awesome. Like, that just tickles me in a very fun way. So I hope they get to go somewhere together, wherever that is. And
I obviously do like this this deal a lot for the Blues, but I do like it for Washington. Again, you are getting a high-skilled top 6 forward, and again, you are in win now mode. This is a move that, if Ovechkin's contemplating retirement or not, it shows him, hey, Washington's really trying to, beef up that top 6 and try and make a run next year. So, and again, Kyrou is on a good contract for what he brings. A lot of skill, can be solid in the defensive zone. So kind of a nice little do-it-all type of player that Washington kind of does need. Again, they did give up a bit much, but again, I'm very high on Connor McMichael. But you can afford it with how good your centers are right now. So you pull the trigger on it. You get a top-end winger, and you look towards next year and try to get back in the playoffs. So really do like this deal for both teams, but I am heavily leaning to the St. Louis side, though.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, I think one team did better, but it's still like a win-win. I'm just checking a couple stats before I say too much. We're getting back to 2021, 22, and it's still the case. Okay. I was just making sure Ovechkin hadn't had this taken from him. He has led the team in goals. I haven't checked before 2021, but that's where I'm at the point where I'm assuming, like, in 21, 22, he had 50 goals. I assume most of the years before that, because he's never been injured, basically, that he's led the team in goals for damn near 20 years. Could this next season be the first time in over 2 decades where we see somebody else lead the Capitals in goal scoring?
It's possible.
Ovi's slow, pretty damn slowly been taking a step back, and now they've got a great goal scorer in Jordan Kyrou. They still have Tom Wilson, who's good for 30 goals usually.
It's possible.
You know, I think this might be the first time where we see somebody take over that top goal scorer on that team. I mean, we all know who runs that ship, right? But eventually you gotta hand over the reins.
Absolutely. But those are the 3 trades that happened. Well, 3 of the 4 trades that happened yesterday. So it's good as time as any to get this out and let you guys hear our thoughts on it, and then it doesn't clog up a whole lot of the next episode of the podcast, which will be out Friday. But yeah, it's getting wild in the NHL here. A lot of big moves already happening. Sounds like a lot more is on the horizon. A lot of people are saying there's already going to be or at least a couple offer sheets that are going to happen, which we'll see. Those are always exciting, but I'm not getting my hopes up for it.
When was the last offer sheet? Never mind. It was the Blues and the Oilers. I was going to ask if it was Kotkaniemi, and I was like, never mind.
And a lot of rumors that potentially Jason Robertson could be on the move. So we'll see. Maybe that's something Buffalo's potentially looking at with the 4th overall pick as well. They got lots of options now.
Oh my God, he would go to the Atlantic. God damn it,
he would.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, that is it for us talking about these. If you want to see my breakdown on the Simon Nemec trade, I posted that yesterday. You can find that on the channel. Maybe I'll link to it at the end of the video here. And we also uploaded the most recent episode of the Stick 'em Up podcast yesterday. We had a pretty busy day with it. So let us know what you guys think, and we will see you guys on the Friday episode of the Stick 'em Up podcast.